Hello. My previous attempt at demonstrating what I wanted to show didn't quite work out, so I'm making another video about it. I wanted to show you a few things. We have been especially targeted, Timothy and I, with a chemical that we believe causes this Morgellons, also the visible aging effects that we have demonstrated over the past 4 years especially. Now, this type of brown, reddish brown dirt comes off of everything in the room. It was intense for about 2 months, started again after about a week after we moved in here, and I took it upon myself to go through an intense cleaning effort. Laundered everything we owned pretty much every 4 or 5 days, because it was impossible to get any rest otherwise, because these Morgellons things it felt sort of like little tiny bugs jumping around all over the air, but I believe now that it is actually not so much a bug-like thing that's contained in this Morgellon, that it's in fact more plant-like, sort of like a fungus that sheds its spores whenever it is activated. This could happen twice a day or once a day, and I would be wiping this reddish brown substance all over, that settled down all over everything. And I made a video back then that showed the residue in the wash bucket. That was actually kind of shiny and crystalline, like a salt almost. Very strange. So now I'm still busy now. The worst of the effects have stopped. It's no longer jumping and flitting in here, but it took about 2 months to accomplish this, and now ever since then I am still wiping off this stuff all over everything, and it's settling down, especially on this chair here. I really love this chair. It's a expensive, ergonomically designed chair, and it cost I think about around $1,000 when it was purchased, and it reminds me of the good old days when I had a studio and professional equipment, also a wonderful studio desk. It was also rather expensive, that got completely destroyed by this stuff. Anyway, I no longer have the desk. The Wongs, our first landlords here in Brooklyn, took it when they attempted to help us move. Now, Timothy thought repeatedly that perhaps it is the cleaner I was using that was making everything this color. Okay, I'm going to hold this up to the camera so you can see. It has this color, but as I'm going to demonstrate now, that's not the case. Okay, I have here, let's take a fresh paper towel off the roll, right? So, hard to do while you're doing it. Here, clean, right? And I'm going to now spray it on the table. Oh, this is a way to see. Okay, yes. Okay, like this. This is, again, this is the color of the cleaner. I'm spraying here, and I'm going to wipe this off. with the clean towel and perhaps a little tiny bit of a discoloration, but hardly even noticeable, and probably from what's on the desk. Now let's go to the chair. Now the front of the chair has been wiped about 25 times, I'd say, by now. The back has been wiped less often. Actually, you can see that there is some kind of gook on it. It's plastic. This weave is made out of plastic and does not particularly attract bugs, but it's not bugs per se anyway. It is this Morgellons mix. Now let's spray the back. See? Spray. Take the clean towel, right? And wipe. Now, this is not as extreme as it was before because I have wiped this for quite a while already. But see, this is it. I've wiped the back of the chair maybe 10-15 times so far. Look at this stuff. Now, initially it was more like this color. So, same thing, front. You can imagine that this is a rather laborious process. Hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. Just keeps on coming. Keeps on coming and keeps on coming. Now, another thing that will demonstrate the effects of what all this has had, that this treatment has had on us, is this. Recently we have also brought a lot of stuff out of storage that was still infested with this strange substance. However, this was like 3 years or so later. It doesn't seem to do much to these things. I mean, it is a little bit less active. This picture here was taken in 2003, which will be 10 years ago, a little less than 10 years ago. And I took the picture and made a silk screen from it. I, processed it in the computer and turned it into a 5-color silk screen. Broke it up into the component colors and then printed it out again. But you can see my likeness. I look much better there. I mean, I was at the time 39. Then another picture. I was glad, of course, to get some of my artwork back, because a lot of it was left behind during our frantic moves from place to place, especially at Bryn's house in Brooklyn. We had to move in a hurry to a small room in Queens, and yeah, everything was jumping with these horrible things at the time. So in the extreme hurry, we left a lot of things behind. And anyway, I didn't have much of my artwork anymore, so I'm glad some of it survived. This is a print that was taken from a photograph taken in 2005 or 6, 3 years after. So 7 years ago, I was 43. And